Hey, what up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you. I think everybody today is well aware of the press release that WWE issued out to all of the people of the press, challenging Glen Beck of Fox News, who went on a rant on his television show, just basically about how stupid wrestling is, about how the whole Jack Swagger storyline against Mexicans and border jumpers and all that is, bringing down society. And basically they challenged Glen Beck to come to Monday Night Raw, which is going to be held in Dallas this week. And they offered to give him 5 minutes of free TV time to say whatever he'd like to do, to sort of go with his statement. Also today on Zeb Coulter's YouTube page, he posted a new video up. It was him and Jack Swagger. For all their Jack Swagger fans out there, it is obvious to tell that this promo video was shot after his arrest, and it would make you believe that Jack Swagger might not be in the worst dog houses that are out there. They probably might not be, the happiest guy at him get arrested and showing up on the front page of TMZ, and especially when they're, especially going out and challenging Glen Beck to come on their show and say whatever he needs to say. Basically, he could tear apart the angle and also go after the guy, playing the character, Jack Swagger, for, what kind of character he really has if he's out, driving around Biloxi, stoned after a wrestling show to the point where, a police officer thinks that he is under the influence and cannot handle driving a car, and he is arrested and taken to jail. But as a Jack Swagger fan, I'm happy to see that more than likely they're going to be keeping the direction of the angle. He's not going to be fired. They're not going to strip him of the number one contendership. But then again, this is all, just guessing. A lot of stories have, came out. Some stories are saying that Jack Swagger was going to win the title at WrestleMania, and that's all up in smoke now. I honestly am not sure if they would have released that if that's what it was. It's also been said that this angle is one that is personally from Vince McMahon. That is, he is handcrafting this, and he's been handcrafting it for over a year. And they decided to go with this angle. And if it's Vince's, baby, he's going to stick with it, no matter what happens, pretty much, because he's not going to let one of his angles get thrown in the scrap heap and not roll with it. To me, while I was looking at this and sort of, sorting through everything, and I was reading over the press release that they put out, I've never seen them. I've seen them put out a lot of press releases out there for all sorts of stupid things that WWE's ever done, but I've never really read one where I felt that I believe they were giving away the end of an angle before. The last line of this press release, where they went on and they bragged about they have 14 million viewers that watch Monday Night Raw, that are basically all over the globe, and just basically calling Glen Beck out for not. Just basically calling all these people stupid, pretty much. At the end of the thing, it reads word for word. It says, "This storyline was developed to build the Mexican-American character Alberto Del Rio into a hero, given WWE's large Latino base, which represents 20% of our audience. I honestly don't know many heroes that go to WrestleMania and lose their championship match. If he's going to be built up as a Mexican-American hero, he needs to win this match." I mean, that's just honesty. I mean, maybe you can, lose the battle but win the war. But when it comes to WWE and it comes to WrestleMania, that is the war. I mean, basically, you don't start angles with WrestleMania. People aren't paying $70 for a pay-per-view in order to, hey, well, he lost this match. I'm really going to order Extreme Rules next month because I really want to see where this is going. No, you're hoping that everything is getting tied together, and this is, the biggest show. This is what matters. They'll have a show on Monday, but you like to think that everything's going to be all resolved and, the next storyline's going to start. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes, if a match is really good, they'll try to pump a little bit more money out of it, and you'll get the rematch. But I mean, at least you like to think, when you really like to sit down and think about where your money's going, you at least like to think that, your money is getting tied into a storyline that is coming to a close, and that, this is the Super Bowl, and then tomorrow the new season starts, and we'll see where it goes for next year to work our way to, the Super Bowl again next year at WrestleMania. Watching the Coulter promo with, Jack Swagger, I honestly, personally, didn't like what they did. In the other YouTube videos they put up, they've been all in character, talking about Vietnam, this, that, and the other. This one, they played the characters of Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter, but it was, honestly, it was Dutch Mantel, and it was, I can't remember his real last name, but, they were just sort of standing there, and they were breaking down, this is how many wrestling fans they have. Glen Beck's an idiot, because honestly, if we have this many wrestling fans and this many people watch your TV show, honestly, there's got to be a good portion of your people that you're calling stupid wrestling fans that are honestly Glen Beck fans, and you're insulting your own people by insulting us. Honestly, I think that, when it comes down to it, WWE has a lot of stars. When it comes down to it, CM Punk isn't the biggest star that they have. Jack Swagger by far isn't the biggest star they have. They really only have 3 stars. Triple H, as great of a wrestler as he is, and being one of my favorites of all time, I don't even think he's in that category. There's John Cena, The Rock, and Brock Lesnar. If you are not a wrestling fan at all, and you just don't watch, there's a good chance The Rock definitely for making movies. Brock Lesnar for being in UFC. And John Cena just because he is the one guy that, WWE pumps out for everything. He gets, non-wrestling magazine covers. He's in commercials. He's got, he had his own movies that were, commercially put out there, like The Marine and even 12 Rounds. Got good publicity, out there getting your own real commercials. He gets to go on talk shows such as all of them. He's been on all the main ones, all the really important ones, even the bad ones like Conan O'Brien. But there's a good chance that these people out there know what wrestling is and know what wrestling's about. And we didn't need this video to be put out there to say, wrestling is fake. We all know wrestling is fake. Every single person watching me right now on YouTube talk about wrestling knows wrestling is fake. But we suspend belief for the belief that we love this show. We know it is our soap opera. Some ladies like to sit down and they watch Young and the Restless. Some guys out there might sit down with their ladies and watch Young and the Restless and not tell anybody about it. But this is our show. We love it. It's on every Monday. There's no reruns. There's no off-season. There's so many reasons why we love wrestling. But even though we know it's fake, I don't like to be told it's fake. If, you come out and tell your friends at work or your coworkers that, you really enjoy Monday Night Raw, that maybe you need a Sunday off to watch the pay-per-view, you want to switch a shift, something like that, and they ask you why, and you tell them you want to watch wrestling, you don't want them looking at your face. You know that stuff's fake, right? It's just dumb. We don't need our own people telling us it's fake. We know it's fake. Having that, promo, even though it's for my guy, was dumb. I don't like it. It did, my buddy MC said it reminded him a lot of when Jim Cornette would do those shoot promos during the Monday Night Wars, mostly about WCW guys, and, everything they used to do. I like shoot interviews, but not when it not when it relates to what's going on in real TV. Mostly when we were watching the Best of Nitro, Volume 2 recently, Kevin Nash does a lot of, shoot promos on there about a whole bunch of crap, and it was horrible. I mean, honestly, the shoot promos that Nash does, I believe there's 2, maybe 3 of them, was the worst thing on the whole thing. There's some bad wrestling on there, but by far the Nash promos are by far the worst. But this reminds me a lot of when basically Vince McMahon was called out by Eric Bischoff to show up at the WCW pay-per-view. Eric Bischoff, when he did it, knew that wrestling fans might fall for it, that, Vince might show up, and there was some people out there that thought Vince was really going to show up that were wrestling related, that Vince's ego was big enough that he was going to come up in there. I think Vince McMahon's calling out Glen Beck, mostly knowing that he's not going to show up, that they can gain some cheap publicity off of this whole deal, and, it'll all go away. If Glen Beck wants to say anything else about, WWE and wrestling fans, he has his own show. He doesn't need to travel to Dallas, and come on Monday Night Raw for 5 minutes. He has an hour every night on Fox News that he can say whatever he wants to say if he thinks that's what's going to get him ratings. I think it's cheap. It's not going to work. Honestly, if you guys are still watching this 11 minutes in, let's pray to God that they don't redo the Rosie O'Donnell versus Donald Trump feud. When they asked them both to come on the show, I think a lot of people have their hands in their heads right now. Both of them refused, so they went out, they got independent wrestlers to play the characters. They had a wrestling match that ended up in a food fight, and it was the worst thing wrestling fans have seen in a long, long time. Basically, that's just about it. I think that's all my thoughts on Glen Beck. I would bet all the money in the world he's not going to show up. If he does show up, I have no clue what to look forward from this. I think when Vince McMahon comes out to make his promo, I think he's going to make some related comment to it. Just like, honestly, the next time, Vince is in the ring with Jack Swagger, I think Jack's going to Vince is going to give, Jack Swagger some low blow, and semi sort of mention what happened here. It happens all the time with WWE when they mention the backstage stuff. Just like with Alex Riley, they, mentioned he liked the party hard or whatever it was. But, peace out. We'll see what happens.